Time for the KSL In-Depth. Frequent flyers know the drill. Going through security has become a familiar task at the airport ever since 9/11, but TSA screeners are having to adapt to new threats. That means your next trip through the body scanner at Salt Lake City International will be a little bit different. KSL News Radio's Paul Nelson is with me live via Skype from Terminal 1. You can see our conversation right now on the KSL News Radio app, sponsored by Any Hour Services. Hey, Paul, we already take off the shoes, the belts. What now?
All right. Before we get to that, I want to show something that is very rare that a lot of people might not think exists. A relatively short TSA screening line. Ladies and gentlemen, it's real. It can happen from time to time. Although the people who are getting in this line might not have been told yet that every single piece of electronics that they have that is bigger than a cell phone is going to have to come out of their bag. That includes tablets, e-readers, pill speakers, anything that has any kind of internal circuitry has to come out. Chargers and cords can stay in, but all the rest has to go out and be screened individually.
Now, is this just at SLC, or is this all airports all over the country?
It will be eventually all over the entire country. However, there are some airports where the employees are being trained still. So you might have some passengers that'll come and say, I didn't have to do this at Denver, or I didn't have to do this in New York, or whatever. They will eventually. And even still, there might be some people who won't have to do it on the way back. But it is definitely in place here in Salt Lake City and in other smaller airports in Utah. The rest of the airports across the country are getting trained on this, so this will be the new normal.
Do they say why they're moving to smaller devices than laptops?
Yeah, they say, and sadly it's the same reason that we had to take off our shoes. It's terrorism. They're hearing that, not necessarily that there are specific threats, but they've been hearing that terrorists are still trying to hide dangerous devices and dangerous items inside electronic devices. So everything that's bigger than a cell phone has to come out and be screened individually.
Now, somebody pointed out this is going to be especially difficult for people who carry technical equipment. For instance, photographers.
I'm dreading this.
Yeah, and radio reporters. You have a bag full of equipment. It all has to come out, right?
Pretty much. The sad thing is there are so many cords and cables inside our stuff that it's going to look like a huge mess. TSA officials told us, if you do have chargers and maybe some microphone cords or something like that, try to coil them up as as neatly as possible, and don't stack them on top of each other. But for guys like me, it's going to be, we might slow the line down a little bit. Please don't hate me.
But come on, Paul, the TSA is probably the only federal agency the TSA is more popular than would be the IRS, I think. This is extra.
Well, people love the DMV too, so it's
the extra screening is going to take extra time. Are they giving advice about that? How long it's going to take to get through the line? How far before the flight? All that?
Well, for here, they were saying 90 minutes is what they recommend for Salt Lake City. Now, of course, anybody who's traveled to LA knows that you got to get there 2 hours ahead. Otherwise, and this was before these changes come into effect. So, but for here in Utah, they are saying 90 minutes in order to get through the screening. And I'm telling you, if you can get a ticket to anywhere now, the line really is shockingly short. So, I don't know, Jeff, if you want to leave now, you can.
Well, you
but
can't.
You have a show to finish.
You can't, so come back. Paul Nelson is live at Salt Lake City International Airport. Thank you much.